Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to this vlog. So now we're going to do the wiring for our Baudouin engine. This one is 1000 kVA and we're going to do the wiring.
So in here, I'm busy preparing and modifying the wirings because this one is new engine and we need to check all the connections and the sensors that we have installed in this engine. And here is my team which is helping me prepare those cables and wires for this engine to make it easy and fastest installation. So as we look around here, we are too busy connecting and modifying those wiring. So this wiring here is for our main supply, and it will be connected to our starter, and this will be connected to our battery once it is done. So here I'm also modifying here for the connections for our solenoid, so there will be control for our start and stop for this engine. So also over here I am adding those wires so we can have the correct numbers of wire for our controls. So in here in this side, I am preparing for our fuel solenoid for start up the engine so it will continue run and having a supply for our line or injectors. So over here, since our cable is shortened and it needs to have a connections which is we can join together those wire and should be the correct size of our wire that we use, and the crimping tools to make it sure that there is no loose connections during for the long run. So here I'm inserting to our loom so it will be good enough and secure enough for those vibrations and any moists from this engine. So here I'm also modifying the wiring for our temperature. By the way, this engine having the two temperature because two temperature sensor, because this one is V-type, so we have the bank A and the bank B. So also I modified it here for our charging alternator wire for those have the connections for our B positive, negative, and our D plus. So here a lot of modifications that we need, and need also to double check those wiring to avoid any wrong connections and any lost connections for this engine. So we make sure that the connections is perfectly fitted and perfectly correct, and so to avoid any burns out during the tests. So now here I'm also preparing for those tools and the lugs that we need to fit for this charging alternator. So I ask also the guys to prepare those fittings and connectors that we need to this sensor so we can finish early as we can. So I ask also the team to install the water level sensor and the speed controller so we can finish this wiring soon as we can. So now we are one team, and we are helping together to finish this wiring. So this one is 1000 kVA for Baudouin engine, and we are making the best as we can to make it. This one will install the wiring as standard as we have here, and now we are almost done. So this time as near to the lunch break, so I did not notice the time that we are need to have the lunch, but I need to finish this first before I go for the lunch. So here I am so busy preparing for those connections as well, and also the preparations for those needed for the connections for our speed controller. So this engine having a speed controller, this one there is no what we call the ECU for this, but only the speed controller. So here I am preparing for those magnetic pickup connections, and for our what we call this one is the injection pump connector connections. So it's also having here the connections for our main supply for our speed controller, which is it is connected for our main relay for our on and off for this speed controller during the startup. So here you can see I am now preparing and crimping those connector in order to fit uh, properly and connected correctly. So we need to tighten it properly to avoid any lost connections, because this one is a lot of vibration, so we need to tie that properly. And also this speed controller we installed here for any vibration absorbent. So here we have the rubberized stand for this, so it will absorb any excessive vibration, so it will stand this speed controller for a long term. So here I'm almost done, and I double check all the connections if it is in a correct way. So while the guys is busy finalizing the loom and doing the cable ties, so once we have the lamps, so this one is perfectly ready. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.